What was it like to live in the Wild West? It's easy to think it was fun because of how simple life was on the frontier. Riding horses, cooking food at campsites, sleeping under the starry sky, fetching food supplies and items from town and more. Or maybe having a general store or setting up a saloon would have been easy and fun. Anyone who has ever watched a Western knows all about how wild life was back then. Damsels in distress were tied to railroads, cowboys' cattle were rustled, and the sheriff was usually a slacker with scant interest in enforcing what little law existed. In short, you risked getting lassoed into a gunfight every time you went to the saloon. Well, at least that's movie makers' take on it. But what do the historians have to say? In reality, the West was a lot tamer than it's often portrayed in popular culture. The Wild West encompassed a vast area stretching from the Rocky Mountain states like Montana all the way down to Texas and then across to the West Coast. Importantly, much of this vast expanse of terrain was pre-statehood at the time, which meant there wasn't much federal oversight. This lack of a centralized government is partly responsible for our collective imagining of the Wild West as a rowdy and fierce place to live. The Hollywood version shows anyone and everyone fighting over water rights and land, but what we discovered is that, in reality, people understood the negative consequences of fighting and instead found civil ways to resolve their disputes. For example, cattle owners often divided up extensive plots of land and formed associations to document and assign range rights. Parts of the Wild West were demonstrably more violent than the eastern states, especially in places where gold and other minerals were discovered. For example, murder and physical assault weren't uncommon. In other words, when the resource in question was plentiful, such as land for cattle grazing, people were more likely to come to some sort of non-violent arrangement. But if the resource was rarer and more valuable, such as a precious metal, people were more prone to throw punches, or worse, to get their way.